Good morning. It is some day of the week. I think today ends with the letter Y, whatever day it is. This is the thumbnail for today's show and the title. And I've recently been showing that at the beginning of the show because sometimes it changes. Although this time I don't think that the thumbnail or title is going to change. However, if you found your way to this video
DougBot said, "Hi, how you doing?"
because you're specifically interested in this topic, then I suggest you go look at the description. There may be some timestamps that take you to certain points that you may be more interested in than other parts of the conversation. So I have audio confirmation for myself and for a speaker bot. Today is February 5th, 2025, and that day that ends with a Y, it's got to be Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. Oh, look at there. It's right there in my thumbnail. How about that? What a clever Doug. Because I know myself, and it's 9:01 in the Pacific time zone. This is our normal start time Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, we start at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, the show's about half an hour long, or give or take a significant amount of time. Saturdays are typically intended to be about 2 hours. There were a couple emails that came in just shortly before show time. Martin Hogg and Gary Weisenberger. I haven't had a chance to really digest those. And if I finish the Comcast topic in time and you want me to go look at that during the show time, then request that with a !C towards when we get to that part of the show. I have acknowledgments for, wow, gift cards. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how many of these Charlie Purdy sent. I think, let's see. Well, just the ones for yesterday and today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Amazon gift cards. Awesome, Charlie. Thank you very much. Wow. They were significant amounts. I've never been hesitant to say the amounts, but this is just all right. So that's been my normal thing. So Charlie, if you want me not to disclose the amounts, then say so in chat. I see that you're in chat. I'm going to give you a chance to say that. I don't know if that would even be a thing that you would be concerned about. No worries. Oh, he says Amazon messed up. I was wondering because there were like 4 of them that came through in a row. I was wondering, are these actually additional cards or are they Amazon resending them? I don't know yet. I haven't tried applying them. I'm not going to apply them during the show because to apply 5 of them is just going to take too long. But they're $50 each for 5 of them, unless some of those are duplicates. I don't know. Thank you. Awesome. And please, if don't let Charlie's amounts or anyone else overshadow you. I think Amazon's minimum is $5. They're very appreciated, and super chats. What can they be, like $1.99 or $1 or something like that? Those are all very appreciated as well. So let's go get some say hello to peoples in chat. Let's see, go back here. Rick Lakes, good morning, Steve Dodd. Oops, I'm not even showing that. Rick Lakes, Steve Dodd, Martin Hogg, John Williams, all saying good morning. John Williams liking the trader. Phil Collins. Now I can zoom in. If I click the right button, because that screen wasn't even active. Rick Lakes, Steve McCure, Brian Lightfoot. Windows, you have an important update. Me, later. Windows, how about now? Me, no. Windows, okay. I'll just restart while you're in the middle of a game then. I have had that happen, and that is configurable. Let's go over here. Some people will configure this not realizing the consequences. I haven't tested this lately to see if this is still the way it works. And is it even, yeah, get the latest updates as soon as they're available. But here, I think this is where it's at. Get me up to date. This one right here. Do not turn that on unless you're okay with being interrupted in the middle of the game or something else. Restart as soon as possible. This isn't saying install the update or check for updates frequently. This is saying restart as soon as possible, even during active hours, to finish updating. This will restart your computer while you're actively working on it. At least it did that for me and a client many years ago. I assume that still happens that way because that's still the way it's worded. And notify me 15 minutes before restarting. The problem there is if you don't notice the notification, notice what I did there? Because my clients, when I'm watching them, a notification will pop up and they'll just click it away without reading it. So yeah, it'll pop up a notification unless you have all your notifications turned off, then I don't think it will, but it may still do the restart. So be careful about that setting. I can't imagine any scenario where it would be advisable to have that turned on. Notify me 15 minutes before restarting so I can make sure this device is on and plugged in. Really? Really? Notify me 15 minutes before restarting so I can make sure that the device is turned on. Oh. Who wrote that? That didn't even occur to me. Okay. For those who don't recognize it, just in case there is one person out there, if the computer's not on, it can't give you a notification. Just because I'm a Doug and I have to explain it. That was the most uncontrollable laugh that I've had for a long time. And Brian, you got me there, sort of. Wasn't really your joke that got me there. But it led to it. Squirrel-like. Charlie Purdy, Alice, Ran Israel. Oh, what's this? Official Tim Tech comes in with a super chat of 99 cents. And does that prove what the lowest amount is? I think. I don't think I've seen anything lower than that, but that's appreciated. Thank you very much. Ran Israel, Brian, and Charlie Purdy at Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Good morning, everybody. All right. We don't have somebody in chat called at Mr. and Mrs. America, right? Nope. These are all the participants currently active. Participants? Phil Stodd. Hello. Bobby Warren, hello. And Bobby's had an experience with Comcast, so we're gonna talk about some Comcast experiences in a method to encourage David towards what I think is going to be his correct solution for his issue with Xfinity. Yes, I use the names back and forth. Can buy a dozen eggs. Eggs have gone up a lot. Speed test issues. We're going to see lots of pictures. David has sent us a lot of pictures, and he sent us some information. No, that's going to have to wait. All right. Then let's get figure out where I'm going to go. Okay, so I had some email exchanges with David. Such a Doug. David. So we're going to get to know David a little bit here. And an email exchange this morning, I said, "Hi, David, can you give me some background?" And I give him some numbered questions here, and he's answered the questions right in here. So we get to know a little bit about his situation. Can you give me some background? Is this a recent upgrade to 2 gigabit service? And he says, apparently it is. Wait, what? He didn't even know. I have had 1 gig service since it was available, and even then it was spotty. So apparently it's been forced on him. He didn't ask for it. He didn't sign up for it. I assumed I've said this before, prove your assumptions. Stop assuming things. And I didn't even question. I figured that he purchased this higher level service because he needed it or wanted it. No, it was forced upon him just because Xfinity did upgrades in his area, apparently, and he now has it. Apparently it is. I've had 1 gig service since it was available, and even then it was spotty. Did 2 gigabits work some time ago? What has changed since then? Keep in mind, I asked this question before I knew about that he didn't even ask for it. I just found out I was getting 2 gig service and purchased a 2.5 Ethernet device for my laptop to keep us hanging here. I got that zoomed in too far, I guess. To try it out. What level of service were you at previously? 1 gig? Yeah, if I had known what the situation was, probably wouldn't even have asked that question. Is this a home installation, business, residential subdivision, rural property, etc.? Residential, still classified as rural, but not really. Is this fiber optic up to a certain point? No fiber, it's coax. So they've upgraded the whole area apparently to 2 gig service. Do neighbors have 2 gig? Not that I'm aware of. I do know my neighbor has AT&T fiber. Now notice this. Do neighbors have 2 gigabit service? He responds with, not that I'm aware of. I do know my neighbor. This kind of implies he's got 1 neighbor, still classified as rural, but not really. So you kind of get a little picture there maybe of what this setup is like. And the reason why that was of interest to me is I'm concerned about the quality of the cables coming up to the property, because cable goes bad, and there's many different areas of cable that can go bad. So we're going to be talking about more about that and experiences that I've been through and other people have been through to help him in how he speaks with Xfinity, because I think that's going to be the key to this. But although there's some interesting things in the pictures he sent. Why do you even want 2 gigabit service? So many people don't scratch the surface of what they're using. Let's go demonstrate that right here. Come down the taskbar to go to Task Manager. How much am I using while I am receiving my live stream? I've got multiple computers connected. I am live streaming. If you go to Performance and go to Ethernet, since that's what I'm using, I'm receiving at around 300-400 kilobits. There go 1.4 megabits per second, sending at 10 megabits per second. If you're a single computer or even multiple computers, likelihood is you're not scratching the surface of even 1 gig service. So it's probably not causing him any issues if he's just not getting the 2 gig. However, there's stuff in the pictures coming up that really, I think, puts a nail in the coffin as to where the problem actually is. Hello, Xfinity. I need a service call. Hint. His response is, why wouldn't I? Why do you even want 2 gigabit? What is your use case? Where is that needed? He says, why wouldn't I? Well, at that point, I didn't know he wasn't paying for it. I am paying for extra service to theoretically get 600 megabits down. I don't get near that. I think it's 600 that I'm paying for. I don't remember, but I've never seen the speed test, but I don't care. It's not really causing me grief to not be at the level. I'm above the next lower price increment. So I'm getting what I need, not what I pay for. Make, model, age of the testing computer. My regular use computer is HP RP5800, is a few years old. I've been getting close to 1 gig for a long time, slowed down to an average 500. Now, he says he's been getting close to 1 gig. But around December, speeds just slowed down. That doesn't mean he's actually using that. He doesn't actually have a purpose to it. He gets it on a speed test. Is there anything out of the ordinary for his setup, configuration, use case, etc.? No, I use it for my work and for YouTube videos, nothing out of the ordinary. So these questions were along the lines of trying to pull out something really unusual in the situation, because sometimes that comes out as you get to know a situation. Before asking these questions, I was pretty sure what my conclusion was going to be, and I suspect it's actually going to be right, but we'll see. We get to know him a little bit more through these questions. Then the next thing that I have in this OneNote file is the link that I sent to him, to the point in yesterday's video where I talked about the issue. There were actually 2 points that were significant. And I let him know in this section I referred to network switch as a router by mistake 2 or 3 times. And he responds to that. You're perfectly fine on that, meaning the wrong word. When you have time, let me know, and I can email screenshots of everything that's going on. Granted, I do new circuit turnips. I'm going to assume that's a typo for turnups on a, right? And it's not tune-ups. I think it's turnups on a daily basis, and run into all sorts of problems. An extra set of eyes are always handy, and it always turns out to be on the provider's end. But Xfinity, they never take responsibility for anything. I'm going to put some caveat on that. In my experience, yes, they do, but they don't volunteer it. You kind of got to pull them along. And I'm going to talk about some of my experiences along those lines, and also give you a story about Kerry Holzman's experience that he gave me on a video comment. Hang on for a moment. Felt that one coming. All of his emails show him as a senior field engineer in Florida region. Now, I don't know what he is a senior engineer for, and it's not necessary, but just to let you know that. I'm not showing any of his emails because it reveals too much personal content, and then pictures received. And then this stuff down here is what I've already shown on previous. So I'm going to get to the pictures because there's some interesting stuff there. Looking there. That's where it is. So I put these all into a folder for him. Double click on the first, and then I'll just hammer through them. And I think this was kind of the order. Well, no, that because of the different names on the files, this is not really the order they came through, but they all came through yesterday, so it really doesn't matter. So we're dealing with a Windows 11 Home non-24H2. Installed on January 12, 2025. So that's he said the computer's a bit old. So maybe that's just the 24H2 that was installed. Could have been an upgrade to Windows 11. I don't think that's important to us. And then here he's showing Realtek Gaming USB 2.5 gigabit Ethernet family controller. Here he's showing speed and duplex. He's got it set currently for the static 2.5 gigabits. I say static because it's not set on automatic. So it's only going to configure it 2.5 gigabits. And then here's a speed test. Download 109 megabits per second when he has 2 gig service. Upload 356. So how many people experience this where your upload is faster than your download. That's saying, something wrong here. He is in Florida. I think we saw that earlier. This speed test going to Comcast at Tallahassee. And then here, 84 megabits per second. And then 356 upload. Now, I don't know the time difference between these, but that's down was lower. Ping was a little bit higher. I was just going back and forth between those two photos. He was set on public network, so I asked him to change that to private network. On the remote possibility, there might be a firewall setting that limits Ethernet speed, but I don't think that's what's going on here. He has changed it to private. Down here in the bottom left, download speed 71 megabits per second. Is this far enough below the promised threshold of 2 gigabits to be complaining? Yes. 18 megabits per second download. Now this one I don't understand at all. Isn't that saying 10 gigabits upload? He has a 2 gigabit service. Am I seeing something wrong here? How is this showing 10 gigabits upload speed? I told you there's some interesting things here. I don't know. In the 34 ping. Yeah, whatever. Then we're getting some pictures from his router. Now, none of these expose his WAN IP address. I've checked on that. He originally reported to us, coming back here, that, yeah, you noticed I'm at negative 42 for his downstream power, and it should be between negative 15 to 15. And I proposed that he was looking at the wrong number. And I think this shows that he was looking at the signal to noise ratio. And here the power level, these levels are between the negative 15 to positive 15. So I think he's fine there. This isn't showing anything condemning. The next few pictures, you'll notice this scroll bar goes over to the right because he shows us the values for all these other channel IDs, which I don't think those are relevant or important to us at all, but I'm going to go ahead and hammer through them just in case somebody knows something more about that than I do. I don't even know what all these different channels are used for. If you're intending to explain that to me, don't just give the answer to it. Put channel and then give your explanation, because I won't be seeing your chat message for a while. And then these channel number 193, 194 at the end. I don't know. I don't think I care. Here's some stuff on the upstream side. Let's see, I got to go back to the next one to the right. Now he's showing upstream. So that last section, going back to the previous picture, that was downstream, right? Yeah, downstream. And so now we're into upstream. There's only 2 channels in use here. The scroll bar doesn't go anywhere. Now this part about error codes, I was wondering about that.
Please occur.
I was wondering about this because I have different results in my error reports, and this looked a little bit higher to me. Ran Israel says cable modem can cycle between channels to distribute bandwidth between groups of clients. That makes total sense. So for instance, in his neighborhood or in his group, if other routers are using a particular channel and the channel is busy, then the cable modem will switch to a different channel. That makes sense. Greg M, we'll get to your question in a little bit. I'm going to hammer through the pictures. These arrow codes out here, I think on mine, they were clear. I'm not going to go down that much because I think we have more significant things to talk about. Here's the firmware on his router. Comcast Xfinity, they automatically update the firmware. There's not even a method for you to do it yourself. This is exactly the same version number that I have on my Xfinity router. So there's not a concern about firmware at all. Jim saying 1 and 2 gigabit is helpful if you do gaming or upload a lot onto YouTube or cloud services. When I was doing gaming with Fortnite, I still wasn't scratching anywhere near the capacity that I had. And I only had like, what, 400 or something. I actually showed those screens, what I'm actually using while live streaming and gaming with Fortnite, not getting anywhere near it. Now, if you have multiple computers in the same house or office, then that's where it really might matter, because individually on each computer, you're using a certain amount of download and upload. If you add those up, then the 1 gigabit or 2 gigabit may become useful. And I sometimes download and even upload images, backup images. And that's where I'm interested in having high speeds. However, the service that I'm downloading from or my client's office is typically lower than what I have to begin with. So that doesn't do much. Moving on, I need to get to some other questions here. Here's his Ethernet ports. Port 1 and port 2 are active. Oh, no. Port 2 is not active. Port 3 is active. Port 4. So I also asked him to disconnect everything else from the router and only have his one computer connected. And he did that, and he's got the same really poor speed tests. And that's because of the story that I told yesterday about the network switch that was probably putting out garbage over the whole network. Looking at Martin Hogg's read chat message. I'm scrolling up in OBS looking for a prior from Martin. Maybe he's trying to direct me to somebody else. Martin, if you're trying to direct me to somebody else's specific, there's several there that look like they have significant content. So tell me who you're trying to direct me to. And that port 4 that has a 2.5 gigabits. So these are 1 gigabit connections there. I was wondering about this. Associate Ethernet port 2 to Xfinity home network. Associating port 2 to Xfinity home network will remove the port from your home network. Oh, that's probably to provide some other home networking services, maybe Xfinity security cameras, things like that, such that that port would no longer be available to your home network. Okay. So then here's another speed test. Please. Okay, I'll go see what you're saying there regarding email from me. Martin, I said earlier I did get an email from you, but I haven't had a chance. Oh, you're just reminding me that you want me to go look at that. Oh my God. I've blown off a half hour and still haven't got to the main thing. This is where he's showing that on November 26th, I think I'll end the pictures here. He was getting 946 down, and this was before he bought the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet adapter, I think. And then December 17th, he's down to 521. So his speed used to be higher. What this is all telling me is that there is a problem out there, most likely with physical cable somewhere. So here's my experiences. Yeah, I'll go back and read chat messages after the show, but I'm not going to get to them during the show. I'll go to your Martin Hogg. I'll go to your email before the end of the show to try to give you something on it. This is saying to me that something has gone wrong. Here's my experiences with Xfinity, Comcast, and AT&T is that when a technician comes out, and he has had a technician come out. He had a technician come out. The technician checked the connection using a cell phone and said it shows good. Did not show him the screen, and that was it. So there has been a technician on site, says it's all good here. Now, how could that possibly be significant enough? Is that if the technician was able to determine that the router is receiving 2 gigabit incoming to the router, then yeah, that could be. But this needs to go further. I've had technicians come out as a second and a third and even a fourth technician come out, and each of them criticizing the previous technicians saying, oh, they didn't know what they were talking about. They were wrong. Technicians in Xfinity and Lot and AT&T, they are trained to do their job, look at the section of the connection that they're trained to do, and sometimes don't know much beyond that. The story I told you not too long ago about the video surveillance security technician coming out, he really didn't know much about the software or Windows usage at all. And I was actually teaching him things during the session. So if you're still not getting the service level that you should be getting, and you've done reasonable due diligence on your side, it is time to call back to them and say, this is not working. I need you to come out and figure out what's wrong. Don't try to tell them what you think is wrong. Now, they may do some more testing from their end, and I've had this happen too. When I talk to somebody over the phone, they run some tests from their side and they say it's all good. I call back and say it's still not working. I get a different technician, of course. They run some different tests and says, oh, I see something here. And they'll find something that is wrong, and they'll pursue it. I don't get rude with them. I don't say, why didn't the last person get that? I just say, thank you very much. Let's figure this out. If that person doesn't get it, call back another day. Make the same complaint. Of course, they're going to see your records, and they're going to see, all right, that element didn't get it, so now we're going to try going this direction. And they don't lay out all of that decision tree information to us. So you just got to call back to them, tell them you're not satisfied, you're not getting what you should be, you're getting really low numbers in this case, and tell them, can we get this fixed? You can be polite about it. You don't have to be rude and mean about it. If they are pushing you off and doesn't look like they're going to go further, then ask to speak to a supervisor. Now, Carrie's got a comment in comments videos that he put in there. I was wanting to read, but really this is the bottom line. So yeah, we'll have to put it at that, David. I'm hammering through your other pictures here, see if there's something else that I really needed to get to. Here's one that shows a 487 download and upload of 350. Just totally not right. Not right at all. Okay, so that towards the end there where I start talking about doing the technician and stuff, that's one of the timestamps that I'm going to put into the description for how to kind of advise people on how to talk with these people. I hope that was useful. Gary says, call and tell them Xfinity you're getting intermittent drops of service. Absolutely, and you certainly are. So include that verbiage. Include that you've got multiple different tasks with highly varying numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go to Martin Hogg, because I think since he was putting that in chat, is he's really wanting some feedback on this. Now, this one I can bring up on screen, and I did read through it once. I vaguely remember what it was about. And so here we go. Hi, Doug. I hope you can advise again. I recently replaced a faulty keyboard on a Windows 10 Lenovo laptop in the UK. The replacement keyboard is a US English one, and some characters do not match UK, such as the @ symbol and the quote symbol and the dollar symbol. So he needs different symbols for the UK. Are there any settings I need to change other than English US to English UK? Customer confused. Isn't there keyboard layout settings? And I remember that from so much long ago, where not just language settings. Hopefully somebody's going to come up in chat with guidance for this to get me to the right place, because it's not just, I don't think it's just language settings, but you actually need keyboard layout. Edit language and keyboard options, accessibility on screen. So typing settings feels like it could be any of those three, but this one, language, that seems most sensible. preferred language, add a language. Here, United States, 3-dot menu, language options, language pack installed. That's not keyboard. Here, install keyboard. Keyboard layout. Here we go. Wouldn't this be it? United Kingdom. So if I switch to United Kingdom, that says US QWERTY down here. All right, so I've got 2 of them. So if I actually remove that, I've never tried doing this. So now if I tried typing a dollar symbol, am I going to get the desired results? Dollar symbol. No. At symbol. Oh, when I did the at symbol, I got a quote. When I do the quote symbol, I'm getting the at symbol. So that definitely made the change. Martin, does that feel like that's on point for you? So if I go back to add a keyboard and go back to United States QWERTY, not Dvorak, and then remove UK. Looking for a response from Martin. Do you think that is what you're looking for? I don't know if he's even had hands-on for the issue. I've got a couple clients expecting me, so I can't go longer overtime. Oh, there's chat. $9:22. Why am I so far behind? It's still working to catch up. She needs UK. Okay, but how about in that area for, maybe it's a different keyboard setting you need. Do you think that keyboard layout section is going to have the right answer for you somewhere, even if it's not the one I selected? I don't know if there was a keyboard there named that. I'm looking for like a yes or no.
Read chat, please.
Try OSK to see the new layout. OSK exe. You want me to run osk.exe? Well, I didn't stay on that layout. Oh, okay. That's good. All right, let's go do that. Because that's an easier way to see the results. Settings, I'll minimize that. KEY. Edit language and keyboard options. Is it in here? Did he actually tell me it was United Kingdom that he needs? Yeah, English, UK, United Kingdom, and then regional format might be another piece of it. English, UK, and go to typing, advanced keyboard set, no, language and region. I don't know if this piece is actually needed. Country or region, English, United Kingdom. That already changed. Let's go back. Let's go look at the keyboard.
Read chat, please.
Do I have to go back and rerun that? Third from the top. Rand Israel says third from the top. On which screen? Not that one. Third from the top. This one? Language options. Language pack. Speech recognition. Install keyboards. Add a keyboard. Yeah, this is where I went last time. UK, United Kingdom, QWERTY. Are there other things besides QWERTY? Could it be a different United Kingdom it's needed? United Kingdom extended QWERTY. For this one, yeah, I don't know if that, I don't recognize any changes there. Do I have to relaunch it? Do I have to do an apply? That doesn't look like it's made a change. Do I have to get rid of the US? Yeah, there you go. So let's get back to what you said you needed.
Read chat, please.
Switch keyboard from the system tray using Alt-Shift. We'll do Alt-Shift. Well, I only have one now. I can see where it's trying to change, but I only have one keyboard now. From the system tray. You really want to make me go through all of those? There, no. I bet I have that
chat, please.
display turned off. I didn't say remove the previous keyboard. Yeah, that was before I got your information about the method of switching. That certainly is more graceful. So that means I can go back and add a keyboard English and then demonstrate switching between them. US QWERTY. So now I have them both installed. Then I should be able to go back to that keyboard, although I closed it. And then it was Alt-Shift. I still don't have that right. I think, Martin, are you close enough? I do have to go. I need to go. I realize that I'm not getting that quite right, but have I got you on the right track? Give me permission to leave, please. Buy a real UK keyboard, Brian says. I want to see from Martin. Yes, that helps enough. If you don't give me that, I'm going to have to just leave. Thanks for trying. Oh, come on. Are you saying we didn't get you there? All right. I guess he's saying we failed. We tried and we couldn't do it, is what he's saying. Really? Did that not get you there? All right, I got to go. Sorry. All right, have a great Wednesday, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.